Okay, you guys asked for some extra support with simplifying before we actually solve. So I'm going to help you do that. Okay, so I am still working in our workbook. I am actually still on page 79. If you have your workbook with you, then you can follow along on that page. If not, it's okay. You can just follow along with me. So here's our next problem. We have 7/15 and 10/21. Okay, remember when we simplify before solving, we're always doing this in an X. Okay, so this denominator is working with this numerator. This numerator is working with this denominator. Okay, so now I get to look only where the arrows are at. So here I have 15 and 10. So I'm going to think about some multiplication problems or even division if you're more confident with division with, okay, well, what number can be multiplied into both of these, or what number can go into both of these? So I have 10 and 15. Well, I know that 5 can go into both of them. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, okay, 15 divided by 5 is 3. Okay. If you're not confident with division, you can always think about it in multiplication. So 5 times what gives you 15? Well, 5 times 3 gives you 15. Okay, so now I'm going to come over here to the 10, and I'm going to think again with 5. So 10 divided by 5, well, I know that that's 2, because I know 5 can go into 10 2 times. Okay, I did this direction, so now I'm done with that way. So now I'm going to look at this arrow with this numerator and this denominator. Okay, I have 7 and 21. Again, think about what number can go into both of them. Well, I know that 7 can actually go into 21. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use 7. 7 divided by 7. Remember, we talked anytime a number divides by itself, the answer is always 1. So 7 divided by 7 is 1. Now 21 divided by 7 is 3. And I know this because I know that 7 can go into 21 3 times. Okay, now I have some new numbers. I have 1 times 2, which I know is 2. Then I have 3 times 3, which I know is 9. This right here is your final answer. 2 9ths. All right, let's do one more. Let's do one more together, and hopefully that helps. I'm looking at problem number 9 on page 79. And that is 5/24 times 6/25. Okay, remember we do everything crossed. So this denominator is going to work with this numerator. This numerator is going to work with this denominator. Okay, so let's start with this denominator and this numerator, 24 and 6. So I'm going to look at both of these numbers and think, okay, well, what can they both be divided by? Now, let me remind you, 24 and 6, both of them can be divided by 2, right? I know half of 6 is 3. I know half of 24 is 12. So yes, they can both be divided by 2, but you want to try and find the biggest number, the way to make that number the simplest form possible. So I'm going to think bigger. What can these both be divided by? Okay, I know these can both be divided by 6. So I'm going to look at 6 first, and I know 6 can go into 6 one time. Again, anytime a number is divided by itself, it's 1. Then I'm going to look at 24. And I'm going to think, okay, how many times can 6 go into 24? Well, I know that 6 times 4 is 24. So this has to be 4. Okay, we're done with this way. Now let's work on these ones. Now I have 5 and 25. Well, I know that 5 can actually go into 25, and I know 5 can go into itself, so I'm going to use 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. Remember, anytime there's a number divided by itself, it's 1. 25 divided by 5 is 5. Okay, now I have new numbers. Now I can multiply across. 1 times 1, we know is 1. 4 times 5 is 20. So 1/20 is your final answer. Okay, if it helps you, do kind of similar to what I'm doing. And I wrote my problem in black. And if you can find another color, that would be great. And maybe actually cross them out and put the new numbers in a different color. So for example, I used purple. So I wrote the original problem with the original numbers in black. Then I crossed them out so I can see my new numbers a little easier, and I put them in purple. This way it kind of helps you, because if you're only using a pencil, you're only looking at the one color, that gray color, and it all just kind of becomes a blur. So if it helps you, maybe get a colored pencil, a red colored pencil, something that's a bit more bright and that's going to catch your attention, and cross out those numbers and put your new numbers in a different color. This may help you. Okay, I hope that helps. I hope that was helpful. If you have any more questions, feel free to email me.